Welcome everybody to Sally Speaks, and I'm so excited today because I have a wonderful guest, Sophie Van Tiggelen. Hope I said the name right because I tend to not be able to get people's names right. I have an interesting name and others do as well, but it's all good. And so I wanted to really introduce you to this amazing woman, Sophie. She is actually someone that specializes in helping other solopreneurs to create their online course, and ones that are just on autopilot. So it allows her to be able to really work with you, find out, dig into what it is that is your core courses, what are you wanting to get out of that message, but also to help you to be able to have something that's going to really serve your clients. So I'm really excited about this because, as you know, I actually have signature courses and I'll do a number of other courses, but I'm finding that more and more people as coaches are coming to me trying to figure out what their niche is and where they should actually be having their courses. And then, of course, how much do I charge? So I think you have a little bit of experience in all of those areas as you're guiding your clients. And so I just really wanted us to spend some time today with our audience to allow them to really learn a little bit more about you and your journey to get to this level, but also how you really serve your clients. Because I know I work on certain platforms with my business, and one of the first things I always wanted to do was to create an online course. I haven't done it yet because I ended up working with signature courses, but I know that there's so much value in having those courses that are created online for people to be able to access on their time, and be able to really, because obviously we both work with people globally and we know the time zone challenges of that. And so I really want to just find out a little bit about you and how you actually started in this business.
Oh, wow. So first, thank you so much for having me on your show today, Sally. And there is a lot to unpack in your question. I suggest we take it a little bit
at a time. Yeah,
yes, absolutely. So I love all your questions, and especially the one that resonates with me today, because I was writing a LinkedIn post about this, is what makes you special, right? Mm-hmm. What makes you unique in a way that you attract your clients and that they want to work with you. And so from there, you know how it works for LinkedIn post, you dig, you go down and you dive into the meat, and start talking about sharing your origin story. If you are struggling about uncovering what is making you special, a good way to start is to tell your story, where you come from, how did you end up where you are today. And so I started thinking about this, and I was writing, well, I did not just sprout out of the ground last spring and decided, hey, I'm an online course expert now. No, it's the result of a long journey, actually, and it started over 10 years ago. I started as a food blogger.
Oh, wow.
I was yes, would you believe it? I was cooking a lot, and actually I had run at the time into some health challenges, and I was trying to also address those challenges through clean eating. And so, and the diet I was following was very restrictive. That's how it felt. So I decided that to keep myself accountable, because I know that outside accountability works well for me. Yes. Hey, I'm going to start a blog. I'm going to record all the recipes I'm creating. And I started sharing on Instagram. And that was the start of a beautiful story. First, I got over my health challenges thanks to the clean eating. But then I connected with other people, and they started following me, and my blog started to get traction. And then I moved on and I published 3 cookbooks. Wow. The first one I did on my own with Amazon. And then a publisher noticed me and reached out, and I went on to continue to create more cookbooks that way. And then I thought, okay, how can I offer more service to my audience? How can I serve them better? And that's when I created my first course. So it was a course about getting people on board with the special diet, giving them all the basics, so that they can do it too. And after this, I launched a membership because I wanted to deliver more recipes. Once they had like the fundamentals down,
Yeah.
I had my membership in place where I would deliver every week. And so that's how I started. And I've been an online entrepreneur for many, many years. And you are, and your audience is also entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. So you know that you learn in the trenches.
Yes.
You learn a little bit of everything. You are wearing all the hats. So that has been a very formative experience.
Excellent. So it sounds like you followed a passion at the beginning, and you had some accountability to do it, and naturally a following came. And I think, when I'm thinking about a course creator, it needs to be a passion that we have, right? It needs to be something that we really care about, in my opinion, to be able to put the right type of course out there to our audience. Because number one, you need to understand your audience, but number two, you also need to understand how you can serve that audience in the best way possible. So I love that you started out with the food blogging, and then it just grew and grew and grew, and naturally grew because of the passion and the desire that you had to just go out there and do something that you loved. And
well, it helps to be passionate. Yeah, it helps to be passionate, because you know that being an online entrepreneur is hard work. There are a lot of people out there, and just the marketing side and promoting yourself, it's a mountain of work. So you have to be passionate about it. Absolutely. You don't feel like you are working.
Exactly. So now, when does someone actually come to work with you as a course creator? Tell me a little bit about that.
So something I skipped actually is like, how did I switch from having my own course to helping people? Well, when my network at the time, when they saw that I had done it, they started asking me more and more questions. How did you do it? And which platform are you using? And what did you use for this and that? So I started consulting more and more. And then the pandemic hit. And waboom, everybody was staying at home. All the one-on-one coaching in real life, in person, came to a halt. And so people were scrambling to find ways to continue to deliver their teaching or coaching. And that's when online courses really exploded at the beginning of the pandemic. And I found that I liked it, that I was good at it. I loved taking people through the process, because sometimes, very often, people are busy and they come to me, they know they want to launch a course, but there's this mountain of things to do. Where do I start? How do I do it? How do you even create a course? So that's what I help them do. I take them through every step, and I give them accountability too, so we get it done.
Yes.
And another really good value when you work with me is that you have feedback in real time on what you are creating, because there are courses out there that will teach you how to create a course. And I've been through those courses. I took all these courses too, and it felt always a little bit short on the personalization, on the personal feedback. And so that's what I'm doing now for my clients.
Awesome. And so as you're working with your clients, is there a specific demographic or area that you like to focus on? Like maybe, like you said, food blogging. Is there something to do with just food, or are you able to create courses for any type of
Yes,
project?
absolutely. Well, I have never done, it just happened naturally that I've been working with female entrepreneurs in the health and wellness area at the beginning.
Okay.
It was my affinity, but now I'm working with authors, I'm working with app developers, I'm working with men, women, but I feel more comfortable with professional woman over 40 years old.
Okay, so that's sort of your target is that, but there's lots of other people that come to you and say, hey, I need your help. Can you help me? And you're like, okay, well, let me look at it. Right. But I think as we start to, fine tune our niche, it becomes easier and easier for us to really understand the needs of that market. And I mean, that's typical in every industry. So if you are niching, I think it's a great thing, but I also believe that there are so many amazing people out in the marketplace right now that are looking for services just like yours, that they can absolutely use, and they just want to get it done, right? They want to get it done so they can start to monetize.
My door is always open. And, I think it happens naturally, the type of clients you end up working with.
Yeah, I found that too. They just attract a certain demographic and a certain stage in their career that they're in to be able to work with them as well. So now, as someone that teaches and is a course consumer as well, tell me, what are the tips that you would give to anybody that's interested in searching for someone like you? What would they be looking for in a course creator? Because there's a lot of people out there. Some may have done some before, some may not. Some might just be just good on the technical side. But can you tell us a little bit about what someone should be asking if they're looking for someone with your skill set?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. The first thing I would say is that if someone is telling you, yeah, you can launch your course in 30 days, run the other way. It's not happening like that. It takes time, especially if you want to produce a high quality, top-notch educational program for your student who will deliver a real transformation. It takes a little bit of time. So know this before you start, which means that you also have to be in the right place in your life, in your business to be doing this. So ask yourself the question, is this the right time for me? And then the second is, yes, there are people who are solely focused on the course creation side, and that's fantastic. What I offer also is the marketing side. Like, you need to start thinking right now, when you start building your course, how am I going to sell this? To whom? And where do they live? How do I reach them? So, yes, you can launch a course even if you don't have an audience, but it's going to be way more expensive because you're going to have to pay for ads to deliver your sales page and your videos and your marketing material to these people who don't know you right now. So if you don't have an audience, all is not lost, but you're going to have a bigger marketing budget. So I always advise, start working now on building your online presence, building your newsletter, which means do you have a lead magnet that you can offer people? And so start building that list. And then I would also look into, are these people knowledgeable in instructional design? Because building a course, it's not just, you slap content together and voila. There is more to the process. And when I start working with my clients, we do a deep dive into their audience, their pain points, what are they struggling with, and what is my unique solution to their struggle. And then from there, we build the entire, I call it the student success path. It's the learning journey, the student journey. So we ask the question, okay, where is your ideal audience right now? How do they feel? What do they think? And where would you like them to go to end up at the end of your course?
Yeah, the transformation, yeah.
Exactly, which you promise on your sales page a transformation. So you better make sure it's happening. So how do you do that? So we build this journey. And once we have this journey down, we start creating the curriculum of the course. And we also start incorporating different mediums of learning. Not everybody learns by just writing or listening. They need exercise, they need this, they need repetition. So there is a little bit more to it there.
Yeah, and I think, one of the biggest things you talked about was making sure that customer journey is really going to get them to the point that we promised them. Because I've seen a lot of different courses and been on different things where, they teach a lot of concepts, but they don't get that transformation. So what is it that you found as far as being able to tweak it from just being a course to actually physically getting that transformation for the clients that makes the difference in a successful course versus one that will monetize well versus one that doesn't?
So the first thing I would say, this might be counterintuitive, is don't deliver too much, because too much content, too much information is overwhelming for your audience, for your student. So think in terms of how can you get them to achieve the transformation in the least amount of time with almost the least amount of material, right? You know, what is really necessary, and take out the fluff. So don't make it too big. And anyway, the big signature courses that we used to see several years ago that would take you months to go through, they are out right now. What's more in is those focused learning courses, like the little weekender style, the course that you can achieve in 1, 2, 3 days.
Okay.
So it's really laser focused learning. And then I would also add a lot of exercises. That works well for me. Exercises and samples, examples. How did other people do this? So for example, if you are working with the client and they are asking you, okay, what is your unique solution? Or what makes you unique? Again, sometimes it's difficult to see what is special about ourselves. So it helps to have examples. So I would also provide a lot of examples in your course, how other people are doing it, because it does stimulate the imagination. And lastly, it's always nice to add some kind of personal touch. You know, being able to touch base with the course creator, even if it's once a month, but to be able to submit their work or ask questions so that they have the feedback and they can make progress.
I've also been on many where there was either video or someone else, the presenter, talking behind the slides and then giving the exercises. So do you do a lot of that as well, with the course provider really being active within that course?
So yes, so I used to help my clients do those, you know, face to camera videos. But we found that after a while, it gets a little bit boring, because people need some visual support for the learning. So yes, I tend to suggest more and more those slide deck presentations. Like you build your slide deck, and I recommend Canva for this. They are fantastic. Everything you need is in there. So you build your slides, which will support your speech. And then you record yourself, and then your face appears here at the bottom of the screen, so they can see you, but they can follow visually. I love this. I think it's a fantastic way to teach something.
Yeah, I think that the interaction keeps you engaged as well, so that you're not just looking at a screen like you would in your corporate career. Sometimes you just look at those ones and it's like, okay, can I just keep pressing the button until I get to the test?
You know, that's when you start watching, you know, cute cats videos on your phone.
Exactly. So I think it's a really important element of it, because I think some course creators are afraid to have their voice or to speak when they are doing that. And that's why they want to have a course created in the background to be able to run for them, as opposed to actually being a part of it. And it's still part of that know, like, and trust, for having the course creator actually being on there and speaking and or showing up with their face, because that's part of building that relationship. So to me, that's an essential part of any course. And if I find a course that I get on that doesn't have that, I lose interest pretty quickly. And that's just me. Maybe others prefer that, but I want to know the person behind the scenes, and know that I'm investing in, to be able to know that I'm investing with someone that I do enjoy being around or hearing from. Right?
Absolutely. That they bought your program because of you, your personality, your special touch, you know, the way you deliver the information. And so if when they come, it's someone else speaking, that would be very jarring to me. Absolutely. Or if it's only written, you could buy a book for that. So when I work with my clients, you know, we develop this together. We have, you know, we practice, they practice using a teleprompter if they need it, because I suggest a mix between, for example, For the introduction, where you welcome your student, it's nice to have a face-to-camera video. And then you switch after into your slide deck presentation when you want to be a little bit more educational. So, we practice the teleprompter, we build, their little studio, the way it's going to look, which outfit they should wear. These are all the steps that we go through. Absolutely.
Awesome. So it sounds to me like it's teaching people the whole aspect of how to be most effective with any course that they're delivering, because they're also going to have to market it in some way, shape, or form. So whether they're on social media or on a podcast like this or something, I think it's really important for a lot of people to understand that there is still going to be that front facing that you need to have in your course. And that's a really important aspect of any course, I believe, because like you said, they know you and they want to work with you and they want to know who you are and the type of results that you get, not only for yourself, but for them.
Absolutely.
So you primarily work with solo entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So people that are starting out in their business or they've had a business for a while. Are you finding that most of the people that you're working with are creating their own programs from a passion that they have, or a desire to work with a certain niche? What is it that you're finding as far as a commonality amongst the solopreneurs?
So, well, first they want to make more money, right? We all want to make more money. So that's a primary drive, but very often I see that they want to change people's lives. They have a special expertise, they have a special skill, or they have been through something. You don't have to be an expert or an academic to be able to build an online course. You can also be sharing simply something hard you went through and you found a solution. And so it is very fulfilling to be able to share this with other people. And if you can better the life of one person, it's all worth it. You are changing people's lives when you create a course that offers a transformation.
So now, and keep coming back to the transformation. So what are you finding is the ability of the online course to be able to create that transformation? So in the process, as you're working through it, obviously you're working on, that ladder, as you're talking about that ladder up to that transformation. And how would I, as a course creator, really be able to measure that? Unless somebody reached out to me, do we normally have a setup so that we can follow up with them, find out how they're doing with their transformation? Is there something that's sort of a feedback mechanism that you're using within that course? Absolutely. You can have weekly check-in. There are many different types of courses, actually. It's not just the one. The most basic one will be just the course where you deliver your module. It's completely self-paced and you finish by yourself. And I've been through courses like that who were fantastic. It's also about your personal motivation, right? It's not all on the shoulders of the course creator. But then there's all this spectrum of courses where you have hybrid formats, like you have the core skills that are delivered in the modules, and then you have the hybrid part, which is the contact. It could be an office hours every week where you can just pop in and ask me whatever you want. Are you stuck with something? Come in my office hour and ask me. Or that's a great idea. It could be a Facebook group where you have weekly lives where you answer questions, or where you deliver a little additional webinar on a specific topic. So there are many different options. It's not just the one. And this is great because if you feel uncomfortable, for example, being in front of people, being in front of a large audience and just winging it, like some people are so good at it, and other people, it makes them very uncomfortable. I want you to know that we can work together to find what is the best solution for you. You should not force yourself to look like that big influencer who did it this way, who had this big launch with live videos and blah, blah, blah.
don't try to force it, because I don't think it's going to go well for you. There are many solutions, and the first step is to actually discover and recognize what are your limits and what are you comfortable with, and then we work within those limits.
Okay, that's great, because I think there's a lot of people out there that are quite shy to be on camera, and
Well,
it is a big fear for a lot of people to be on camera. So I think, you know, exposing them to a combination of a little bit of both is a really great idea. You know, some of us are very comfortable being in front of a camera and we think nothing of it, whereas others, I know, they're like, that's the biggest thing holding them back in their business, is that they need to be live on Instagram or something like that, and they're just like, what am I going to do? So it is very very much tough for some people to step up and to step into that. But with what it sounds like you're holding their hands as far as what they can do to integrate a little bit of that within the course, depending on their comfort level. And I think that's a really good thing to understand as well, is that Sophie works with you specifically on your comfort level, on what you want to do within your course. And it's not just going in and saying, here's the template, let's create it, boom, let's make it this way. It sounds to me like it's very customized as far as on that individual and on their goal, and also how they want to be perceived in the world with this course. And so I really like that about what I'm hearing from you, because I think there's also a lot of people out there that will just say, okay, you want this course, boom, 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 and it's done. And it's not as productive. It doesn't generate as much income. And it also doesn't have as much of an end user effect to get them that transformation. So I love the way that you're talking about, number one, you said earlier on, it's not just getting it done in 30 days. It's taking the time to do it right. Number two, what I'm hearing is that I'm going to sit down with my partner and I'm going to really work with them on what it is that they want to get to, that, how they want to get to that transformation for their clients and where their skill set and their expertise is. And then number three, to really make sure we're delivering something that is going to be effective for everybody, so that you're understanding the customer journey in each of those different elements to be able to educate your client on how that's going to work. So it sounds like a beautiful opportunity for any solopreneur, and for probably people that have a team that don't have someone that's doing that course creation, because it definitely can make a big difference to changing the dynamic of, number one, how many people you have coming into your business, because a lot of people are more comfortable coming into a business through something like an online course, as opposed to reaching out to the person directly. Because sometimes they have a little fear too about what that interaction is going to be like. And it's easier for them to be able to go in there whenever they want, at their time that they want, and to be able to get the results that they want and work it around their schedule and not somebody else's. So I think it's a lot of benefits to having a course creator like you on their team that really can work with them to go through that process in the right way to get them the right results. So, you know, is there anything you wanted to add to that? Because that's what I'm hearing from you right now, is here's what I can do compared to other people that are just zipping through it just to get another number going through.
Well, it's a wonderful experience, and I see that it's fantastic. When you have a great course that delivers results, it opens doors for you. It opens doors, new opportunities for you professionally and for other people to work with you. And so it's really my passion to help people accomplish this.
Yeah, I can tell that just by your enthusiasm, but also the specifics that you're going into on what you're doing to help align with your client. Because each client is different. Each client has a different directive and a different vision for their business. And it sounds to me like you work so closely with them that you can help them make sure that that vision comes to reality. Yeah,
it's absolutely, like, everyone is unique. I don't give cookie cutter advice. Like, your offer, your skills are unique and they deserve my entire attention. So for a period of 3 months, we work together and we get it done.
Nice. That's awesome. And so tell me a little bit about the results that you get for your clients.
Well, the results, it's launch. When we are able to hit the publish button, when everything is in place, you know, we run our tests. That's the most gratifying results when I see it happening. Mhm.
Yeah. And so do they create, like, are you working with them on creating funnels into that course, or is that a whole different baby?
So what I do is I build a course and I get them ready to launch. So being ready to launch mean that you have to have your payment processing in place. I do that with them. You have to make sure that you have your sale page, that you have, your funnel. That's a word that is very often used. A funnel means how are you going to bring people in your funnel, and what do they hit first? Your sale page, or do they hit a lead magnet that you are offering? Then we write your sales page. That's a whole other animal. And then what happens after they buy? So we also automate everything, because we don't want to have to touch this, meaning the onboarding, the automated emails. So we do everything.
Okay, awesome. So are there any other tips or tricks that you want to share with our audience today, as far as if they're looking to find a course creator like yourself? Obviously, you can reach out to Sophie and she can guide you as to whether this would be the right opportunity for you. But I think you're probably open to just having a discussion with people to find out whether it would be a right fit.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I have my little, scheduler. You can reach out to me through LinkedIn or my website. And then we set up a little chat to see, what are you thinking about? Are we a good fit? Would my style of work for you? We have all these questions that I work with them through. And then, that we take it from there.
Awesome. Yeah, because I know my friend and I were going to start a online course like 3 years ago. And we got into a program, which I'm sure you use as well. And we sort of played around at it, and then we both went our separate ways. And then I came back in, and it's like, I haven't done any of the online courses yet, because I'm still doing signature courses and some mastermind groups. But it's definitely something that I know is on the radar for myself and a lot of other coaches and people that are really developing other people in some way, shape, or form. And even with you talking about your food blog at the beginning, there's so many people that are interested in so many of our, I'll call them hobby jobs, right? So
jobby.
Right. So all the things that we do for fun, people are curious.
Absolutely.
Oh, you know what? I want to learn how to cook this certain way. Let's go see what we can find. And so I think there's so much opportunity today for us all to have something that's an online course, regardless of whether we're working full-time, have another business, but working towards something that brings us pleasure and brings other people pleasure. And at the same time can make you some income. So I think there's a huge opportunity for course creators out there, people that want a course, as far as looking at all the different options that they could use. We're seeing it everywhere on, Reels or Lives and things like that. But I think having something that people can go to and any time of the day that they want to is a huge, huge benefit to our.
Absolutely. Yeah. Online courses are not going anywhere. I mean, the projected growth of the online course market is just, it continues to go up. Yes. It is still a very profitable investment.
Yes. And I think, from what I've seen from a lot of people too, it's sort of an entry-level opportunity for people to get into. And then as people develop and see what it does for their business, they just create more and more and more, because they see that their clients are wanting more from them and more from them and more from them. So you get to continue to develop, and you grow at the same time as you're helping your clients grow. So I think it's a huge industry, and when done right, can really make a profitable business for your entrepreneurs that you're working with, or for anybody that wants to just step in and share their knowledge. It's all about sharing knowledge. We all have so many transferable skills, and I think we forget about that, the skills that we have. So I really appreciate having you on today. It's been a pleasure, and now you've got my wheels turning. I'll probably be the next one on your list. But definitely, I know that there's so much opportunity there. And, I work with Canva, but I also work with Kajabi for my business, and that's where my website and everything is hosted. So for me, I know that's one of the you work on Kajabi as well, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Exclusively.
Yeah, it's pretty slick platform. And so I'm already set up. So it's just going to be a simple step for us to do the next stage.
And you probably already have all the content.
Oh, yeah, I have tons of content.
It's a question of putting it on your calendar, like making time for it.
Okay, good.
And then, shoring in all the content that you have and put it in that timeline or that journey for your student that I talked about at the beginning.
Yeah, I think it's important to have that for sure. So I'm probably at that stage that I need to have a conversation.
All right.
There we go. You got another client. So, but I think it's really important for people to understand that at any stage in your business or in your career, you can step in and create something like this with an expert that knows how to make it monetize and how to make it most effective to have that transformation. And people are buying transformations.
Yes.
They're not just buying material, they're buying that transformation. And I think that's the difference between what you do and a lot of other people that I've noticed are doing in their courses, is we sometimes think we can create it ourselves better than anybody else. But at the end of the day, how do we really know that we're going to get that transformation, or how's that flow going to create that? So I really appreciate all of the shares that you've done and the expertise that you're bringing to the table. And hopefully we'll get some people to connect with you. We'll put all of Sophie's details in our information that goes along with this. So make sure you reach out, have a conversation, because you just don't know what that next step is for you and whether there's a right fit. And I know, having worked with Sophie for the last little while, that she's going to be straight with you as far as being honest as to what you have and what she can do for you to be able to make it into something if it's viable. But go with an expert. Make sure you go with an expert, because there's a lot of people that dabble, but experts know how to get results. So that's how I'll finish it. Any last words?
Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh,
there's so much more to talk about, but I think that we addressed the main points, and I'm so happy that I got to share my passion with your audience today. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And you are in the US, so just so people know.
Yes, Colorado.
Colorado. So you'll figure out her time zone if you need to connect, but she does have the links to be able to register to get a call. We'll put that up for you. And hopefully it'll really be advantageous for all of our listeners as well as for you. So thank you, Sophie, and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.